about S4 HANA. I'm very sure each one of you might have heard about S4 HANA and what it can do. S4 HANA is a new dimension if you look at the history of SAP. We have SAP R1, which was the release one. We have SAP R2, which came in 1979, which was based upon mainframe. Then in 1992, SAP came with a client server, which was SAP R3 platform. Then SAP came with MySAP in 2000. And then SAP came with the ECC architecture or NetWeaver architecture in 2004, which was around 12 years back. In 2011, around 5 years back, SAP proposed S4 HANA. So S4 HANA has been a prominent component. Now, as you guys know, that S4 HANA and SAP HANA are two different things. They are entirely, completely two different things as far as SAP is concerned. Today, when we look into the economy and the various trends in IT and technology platform, these are some of the elements of the platform. It is hyper-connected. We have so many digital devices. With one estimate, there will be 20 billion devices which will be electronically connected. Computing obviously becoming faster and faster. Even laptops has 8 GB RAM, and 8 GB RAM for a few years back was put, just in, servers. Security is becoming a major issue, as we know. We are getting into more and more smarter world. A lot of manufacturing, for example, or a lot of other actions and tasks are controlled by robotics, cloud computing. That's another element, cloud computing. Offering infinite opportunity to the first movers. First moving is always a challenge and always an opportunity, depending upon how do we look at it. Always a challenge, always an opportunity. In next 10 years, 40% of a standard poor 500 will no longer exist if they do not keep up with their technology trend. That's a very important statement. Revenue creation. Revenue can be generated, additional revenue opportunity. Market valuation and impact on profitability by adopting to technology trends. Nowadays, everyone is talking about digital transformation. Each organization, large organization, small organization, medium organizations, and there is a constant dialogue about digital transformation. And when we talk the digital transformation, and this is also important statement, $237 billion in annual profits are lost by world's 200 companies. That is opportunity loss in these corporations, in these organizations. We have a complex technology, less than 1% of data being turned into business benefit. We are not able to analyze the data. Few years back, we had a problem that we don't have the data. Now we have a reverse problem, and having business benefit. And having a less than 1% of the data being utilized to a fruitful purpose. Management time is wasted on non-revenue generating activity. We are not focused on the revenue generated activities. We are not focused on to that. 63% of executives want to simplify the business operations. Our business processes has become humanly complex, and because of the complexity, they cannot be changed. They cannot be effective. They're not dynamic because they become way too complex to be changed. Technology limitations of the past is the cause of IT complexity. In the past, all these different SAP and many of the company has been using SAP for past many decades, many years, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. There are companies who are using SAP as long as 20 years. And a lot of companies using SAP 10 years and 12, 15 years is pretty common. But in the usage of SAP last one decade, a decade and a half, we have created a lot of challenges to ourselves in terms of data modeling, in terms of batch processing, in terms of system integration. These are some of the elements of these are some of the elements of the current environment. Data modeling. In the data modeling basically means how we update our indexes, aggregates, the current data and data models of R3, thousands of tables. Batch processing, thousands of batch processes going on. There is a background jobs running day and night. And the integration, the complex architecture where you have a different elements and where you have a different structures and where we are connecting to different other systems. Now talking about SAP HANA. SAP HANA and SAP S4 HANA cannot and should not be used interchangeably. Cannot and should not be used interchangeably. S4 HANA is in-memory processing platform. It came in 2011, around 5 years back. Then in 2012, SAP came with a HANA on the especially business warehouse, because business warehouse with the large amount of the data become very complex. Data structure become very complex. Then in 2013, SAP put SAP Business Suite on HANA. Then in 2014, SAP came with S4 HANA Finance in the later part. In fact, it was mostly the last year in February, January of last year. And then mid last year, SAP proposed and come up with SAP S4 HANA. SAP S4 HANA is new business application. S4 HANA is not SAP HANA. S4 HANA is a in-memory platform. It's a database. S4 HANA is a business application. In this business application, you have a simplified data model. So data, when you're loading the data and on putting into your hard drive or on your server, the data is very small because most of it is running in memory. It is coming with a new user experience. It's coming with advanced processing. It's coming with a choice of deployment. SAP HANA, the most advanced in-memory platform. So when you talk about in-memory processing platform, so SAP S4 HANA is one of the most advanced in the industry. This is SAP S4 HANA platform, which is the most advanced in the world. So if you see here, you have application services, database services, integration services. That is the architecture of SAP S4 HANA. SAP ranked as a clear leader in the Forrester in-memory processing database platform. So if you look at the Forresters, SAP is the leader. This is the leader. Business leaders need to digitally transform across 5 key pillars. Digital transformation. And these are Internet of the Things, customer experience across the channel, managing my core business processes, which you see in SAP R3, workforce engagement, my people in-house and in the field, and how can we manage them, and supplier and business networks. We have suppliers, customers, vendors, other business partners spread across the globe. How can we collaborate with them? So Internet of Things, customer experience, omni-channel, managing core business processes, engaging our people, and collaborating our business network. So these are some of the important elements and pillars. S4 HANA reimagine businesses for the digital economy. If you look at it, this is the core. So going forward for SAP S4 HANA become the core. S4 HANA is the center of the corporation. Apart from that, we have several other components behind it. If you talk about supplier collaboration, we are talking about Ariba. If we're talking about the customer engagement, we are talking about Hybris. We are talking about workforce engagement, we are talking about Fury, because Fury is a new dimensional user interface which is going to be utilized. And SAP HANA and SAP S4 HANA, both are there in the cloud. So SAP S4 HANA is also based in the cloud platform. So this is S4 HANA business for the digital economy. Now, interacting all aspects of the value chain, let's understand this. So this is my digital core, and this is how SAP is evolving. So this is S4 HANA in the center of it, which is our the latest business application. And then we have a supplier collaboration business network, which is involving Ariba, involving Concur, involving Fieldglass for the business network. Then we are engaging Hybris software. Then we are engaging Internet of Things and then we are engaging workforce. So these are some of the elements of the value chain. This is SAP S4 Hana, the new dimension business application in the center of it. When you talk about S4 Hana, it combines modern and simplified core built on the SAP HANA platform with the best-in-class solutions to connect business within and across supply chain. We need to understand that statement. We are moving towards digital economy, the entire digitization of the business corporation we are talking about. So in the center, we have S4 HANA, enterprise management, connecting with hybrids for the customer engagement. And in the bottom, we have a platform of SAP HANA, because in S4 HANA, the platform or the database is HANA. Digitize beyond the core and embrace the digital economy. Let's look at this. So this is the digital core. This is SAP S4 HANA. And it is based upon HANA platform. And the idea is we are using the Fury, so user experience, and then we are also providing better analytics, reporting, making it fast to become real time. That the world of the live processing, batch processing is removed. And when we talk about the digital economy, when we're converting the whole organization to digital organization, involving Internet of Things, involving big data, involving business networks, involving various devices and connecting with them. Okay. How do we create the social networks? How do we connect with the people? These are part of the digital economy. Okay. We need to understand digital driving environment. S4 HANA is the core element of digital transformation of business enterprises. That is the core argument. Whether we talk about business processes, when we talk about analytics, when we talk about instant availability of within the organization, when we talk about having an ability to connect with my business network of my suppliers, customers, and other business elements, that is where we want to take to the organization. And that is the core of SAP S4 HANA from the corporate perspective. So S4 HANA is a new application software, is a new dimensional. So ECC is gone. So there is no more ECC from SAP perspective. Now it is HANA. It has a simple data model, modern user interface, because simple data model because it is using HANA now. So S4 HANA use HANA by default. It use Fury as a user interface. Business processes, and a lot of them are changed. And digital connectivity with your business enterprise, anytime, anywhere, any device. So non-destructive journey basically means you can, with the Fury as a user interface, you can access your SAP from any device. S4 HANA example with a simple finance. These are some of the tables. Core data structure remain unchanged. So when we talk about various tables in sales, purchase, finance, material, vendor, customer, those table does not change. So core data structure remain unchanged. Now, if we looking at it, finance application with the aggregated indexes, you create 10 inserts and 5 updates. 10 inserts and 5 updates. But when you're using S4 Hana Finance, with the same update the table of BBKF and VSG and processing the same data structure, you're talking about 4 inserts and 0 update. That is the power. That is the power. And that is an example of simple finance, how SAP S4 Hana enables the faster, quicker update. Data footprint reduction. So one of the core elements which you need to understand with S4 Hana, data footprint get drastically reduced. So when we are installing S4 Hana, for example, you don't need that much of a data space as you used to need before. So traditionally, if you are using a database of, let's say, around 600 GB, on HANA platform, it becomes 1/6 of it. Because of the compression, because of the column store, because of indexing, and because of OLAP and OLTP together. This is very important message. OLAP and OLTP together. Earlier, OLAP and OLTP has been 2 different platforms. Now going forward, OLAP and OLTP are in the simple platform. So that basically means technically there is no distinct BI platform. So BI platform is gone. So BI platform is gone. Data footprint reduction. And see this here. If you're using a traditional database of 600 GB, on HANA, we are talking about 100 GB. And S4 HANA, we are talking about around 42 GB, like 1/10 of it. So database size in S4 HANA, if you're using ECC, it becomes approximately 1/10. Here we have a simplified data model. That's a very core. So semantically rich data model. It drop performance workaround, and obviously keeping all the information. So that is one of the core messages, and that is primarily coming. And the reduction in the data footprint is real. When we installed our S4 HANA application, then we saw that we need really very small footprint as far as the data is concerned on the machine. Now, talking about S4 HANA Analytic Architecture. So this is SAP HANA platform on the bottom it. So it has a SAP HANA database layer in which you have a physical tables. You have ABAP layer, so in which you have a SAP HANA views, because as you know, SAP HANA comes, it is pre-built different kind of views. There are different views which are there in SAP HANA. You can build, so that is ABAP layer. And then we have a platform of hybrid transformation and analytic application. And here we have analytic and BI client, for example, SAP Limura. This is SAP Smart Business Cockpit. This is a smart cockpit basically having a Fury application. So this is SAP S4 Hana Analytic Architecture, in which you can have SAP with Smart Business Cockpit, you can have SAP Lumira, and this is a platform of SAP. So if you look into SAP HANA Analytics, and this is an important slide to understand that we are not talking about having our classical ECC, then a BI, and then ECC sending the data to BI, and replication of the data and batch modes, and you have a weekly, monthly, and daily data uploads, putting your transformation rules. It is all in the same box. So this is SAP S4 HANA Analytic Architecture, because this is one of the most critical difference when it comes about SAP ECC and SAP S4 HANA. In bringing this analytic architecture is one of the core argument, is one of the core element of the new architecture. So that way we can have the same architecture we can use going forward. We don't have a two different environment, one for transaction processing and one for the analytic processing. So we don't have these two environments. Obviously, because we are using Fury, so this is a screenshot of Fury. So user experience is simplified in terms of creating their role, in terms of access, in terms of design, because Fury design is much more best in class design. SAP Smart Business, new user experience and working model. This is just an example of workspace which you can derive using Fury. When you log into SAP, it's a role-based access because it's a Fury. You can have a different working models depend upon the role. You can personalize. Response is much faster because it is working on HANA platform. Obviously, that speed is one of the key elements. This is innovative business solutions. Now, let's understand this. This is one of the core messages in terms of SAP S4 HANA. So, because of SAP S4 HANA and because it's working on a HANA platform with a simplified data model and in-memory processing technology, so it eliminates your batch processing and data reconciliation, making the processing real time. So nothing is working in the background job. Predictions. So when you're talking about looking into your opportunities, looking into business challenges, working into the real time. Simulation, looking at the decisions on the various outcomes in the real time. Responsiveness, real time. Drill down on the different aggregates and different data information, real time. Recommendations, working in real time. So these are some of the core elements of SAP S4 HANA. Talking about the value scenario for the finance operations. So real-time analytics enabling real-time processing. That's one of the core elements. You can centralize your finance, choose books in a day, plan dynamically, optimize working capital, ensure compliance. Transactions, plan, analyze, because you have a HANA layer. Challenge of the current architecture, we know. Multiple sources of truth. General ledger, reconciliation with a multi-ledger, asset accounting, database, COPA, CO. And ultimately, GL is the center of the information which is producing, providing it to the different boxes. We all know this. Now we transform that into SAP S4 HANA concept. Take everything into one line of table. One line item table with a full detail for all applications. instant insight, and extensibility. This chained architecture. Data is stored only once. No reconciliation needed by design. Reduction of the memory footprint because there is no redundancy. Fast multi-dimensional reporting. BW is part of your ECC platform. It's not separate architecture. So now we have a universal general table. So if you see here, there is a one table. And that is why it makes the processing instantaneous. SAP S4 Hana Materials Management Operations, key innovations. So when we talk about MRP, when we talk about inventory management, when we talk about the material valuation, when we talk about ATP and backorder processing, when we talk about the capacity planning, when we talk about order management and billing, when we talk about the procurement. So in MRP, runs faster. Because earlier MRP running because taking all the various thousands of materials in the plant across. Inventory management, because of simplified the data model, resulting in increased throughput, flexible analytics, and much granular level. Material valuation, ATP. In ATP, enhance ERP by advanced ATP capability in APM. There is new code for that. Capacity planning. If you're using PPDS, it reduces your integration efforts. Order management and billing becoming better. And then procurement. Okay. So SAP is delivering simplicity to business processes, which we need to understand in terms of eliminating business models, reimagining business processes, and eliminating business decisions. S4 Hana, there are 1,600 customers already, growing exponentially. Thank you very much. This is what I wanted to talk to you all today, and I appreciate you taking time. And I will be talking with you in the near future. And I appreciate your attendance. I appreciate you coming here. So all of you, thank you so much. Have a good evening. And I will be talking to you in person and addressing all the questions and concerns you might have. Thank you so much.